Welcome to the third and final video that tries to give you some features to look for when assessing whether a fire detection system has been installed correctly. In this video, we will consider an EWIS system. Once again, this is not a complete list, and you should familiarize yourself with any relevant standard that might apply to each project. Part 3. EWIS. Does the block plan comply with Clause 3 Part 3 Part 5? Unfortunately, we often see block plans missing important items such as emergency phones or the location of the baseline data. It's also important to check that the first speaker in each zone is wired with fire-rated cable. Also, are the loudspeakers certified to 724R Part 24? Compliance to this standard is often an issue when installers try to combine or interface the EWIS with a public address system and require high-quality speakers. At Fusion Fire, we can offer fully compliant speakers, also suitable for public address. So, remember, there are valid options on the market. Ensure that the sound pressure level is at least 75 decibels and that it exceed the ambient noise by 10 decibels. If the background noise is above 85 decibels, you will also require visual alarm devices. If the site has visual alarm devices, please ensure that each one has a label that says "Fire" next to it. Intelligibility is a big topic. It can be tricky, and, unfortunately, it's often missed. It can get convoluted, but stay with me. Intelligibility is a compulsory requirement under 1670 Part 4. We strongly encourage installers to strive for it, as it ensures that occupants can understand the evacuation messages that are being broadcast. Unfortunately, we often hear stories of buildings where evacuation might be delayed, or instructions might not be followed because of poor intelligibility. This said, you are not required to measure it in two situations. First is if you use visual alarm devices in the area. This is common in underground car parks where it's very hard to achieve intelligibility due to the large size of the area and the presence of highly reflective surfaces. Alternatively, you don't have to measure intelligibility if you meet each one of the following three conditions, that is, if you have speakers spaced at twice the ceiling height, if the reverberation time is below 1.5 seconds, and if the live speech signal-to-noise ratio is greater than 10 decibels. Please note that, if intelligibility can't be achieved, you need to ensure that either one of these scenarios is achieved. That means that, in the absence of visual alarm devices, you need to measure features such as reverberation time or the signal-to-noise ratio. Confirming that the speakers are installed at twice the ceiling height is not sufficient. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon for designers to plot speakers in a 6-meter grid and hope for the best. If you have a high ceiling, such as it can be found in an atrium, or large spaces, you will have long reverberation times. Which means you will have to measure and achieve intelligibility. The best way forward for tricky environments is to do acoustic modeling. Fusion Fire can assist you with this. In the past, we have also been able to achieve the correct sound pressure level and the correct intelligibility with fewer speakers than you would expect. This means you can actually do the right thing, get a great result, and also save money. The secret is to use appropriate speakers with the right sound output and to carry out acoustic modeling to firm up the design. Please ensure that the phones are installed in all the right locations as per the standard. Also, pay special attention that each phone produces a ringing tone of no less than 80 decibels. This is often an issue when the phones are installed in cupboards or enclosures. Finally, you will have to check that the cascading sequence is correct. You can ask the installer to show you that, when you trigger various detectors, the correct zones go into alert or evacuate. At the same time, you want to ensure that the adjacent areas go into alert first and evacuate next. This should follow the correct cascading sequence as determined by the fire engineering report. To sum up, you should remember to check that the block plan is correct. The field gear should come with the correct certification, be zoned correctly, and be wired accordingly with the correct cable. The correct levels of volume and intelligibility must be achieved. The phones should be installed in the correct location, and the ringing tone must have the appropriate volume, regardless of where the phone are installed. Finally, the evacuation sequence must work as required. Feel free to contact Fusion Fire to check how their unique technology can be applied to achieve the required outcome. As we said before, this list is not conclusive. So, what other features do you think are often missed and should be always checked as a priority?